Two speakers in our midst, Mr. We have two speakers in our midst, Mr. Olaoluwa and Mr. Jeremiah. So they have we start with Mr. Jeremiah. He's going to talk about the basic things you have to know about cybersecurity. He's going to talk about the essential things you have to know before you transition into cybersecurity and the roadmap for a beginner that wants to transition into cybersecurity. So, Mr. Jeremiah, you have the floor, please.
All right. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. So thank you. First of all, I would like to thank GDDOU for the opportunity to speak here, and also Bushron Moshud for inviting me to um for giving me this opportunity. So before I begin, right, I would like to just quickly introduce myself. So my name is it Jeremiah on X? I'm Cyber Jeremiah on X, and I'm a cybersecurity analyst, with a strong focus on SOC operations, threat detection, and also a lot of hands-on cybersecurity practice. So my journey into cybersecurity started 2024 when I left school, but I didn't have like deep technical knowledge because my background was not cybersecurity related. So I transitioned from human anatomy, which was like part of med school, into cybersecurity, right? So over time, what like really helped me out was my curiosity, and also like the quest to know more and to fill in my knowledge gaps, right? And I was also like confused at some point. In fact, most times in your journey when you're starting out, you usually get confused about a lot of things, because you don't know, either you don't know where to begin or what directions to follow. So over the time, right, I have grown through consistent practice. I've been building projects, collaborating with different people, hoping on internships, right? I have a personal community where I just try to like offer as much guidance as possible, in terms of cybersecurity skills and then skills beyond that. I've also had the opportunity to work on different projects like Active Directory, lab environments, phishing simulations, analyzing logs with like Splunk, Wazo, setting up setting up my labs for threat detection, simulating different kind of threat and then trying to like detect it, and also helping others to learn cybersecurity through my community, right, called the Guardians of the Cyber Realm. So basically, today I would like to share what I wish someone has explained to me when I was just starting out my career. They are basically like the skills you actually need, the path you can follow, and the opportunities that exist in cybersecurity. So it's just going to be practical guidance, right? Um, am I still audible? I guess you follow me.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. So basically, I'll just give an overview of the cybersecurity landscape, right? Um, so like to keep this chat active, right? So that it don't look like I'm talking to myself. I would like us to type in the comment section here whatever thing we're learning. So let me just type something here. So if you grasp any concept, you can feel free to type here. So I know that I'm not talking to myself, or you can also mute your mic to speak. Yeah, so basically, right, the overview of the cybersecurity landscape. Before you jump into any tools or certification, you really have to understand what cybersecurity actually looks like in the real world, right? So cybersecurity is beyond hacking, which most tech schools have sold as a marketing strategy to people to get people to like subscribe to their tech school, pay money, and by the time you're done, by the time maybe you that are getting into tech school, you might have maybe finally have interest in GRC, and then you might have just wasted your money and your time learning ethical hacking, because you didn't up because he didn't know better, right? So, but hacking, right, is just like a small part of cybersecurity. There are different parts that exist in cybersecurity, and understanding them would help you to decide where you might fit in. So, one major area is blue team. I mean, cybersecurity is broken down into different parts, right? There's blue team, there's red team, there's GRC, there's pen testers, So let me just give an overview of what each of them is. So for blue teaming, right, we focus on defense. That's the aspect I am focused in, right? I'm focused on defense, defensive part of cybersecurity. You can call us SOC analysts, different roles that exist here. You have SOC analysts, incident responders, threat hunters, and basically our work revolves around like monitoring logs, detecting suspicious activities, and also responding to alerts and investigating any potential attacks. So if you have an organization, right, that's if you set up an organization and the organization is internet facing, like when I mean internet facing, your transactions is online, everything you're doing is online. So you need to have a blue team on ground to make sure that your network security is being like monitored, right? To detect any threats. If any hacker is trying to like hack into the company's database or trying to like just monitor let's say like a hacker, right, is trying to like perform reconnaissance, like trying to just find out what your company's infrastructure is like. You as a blue team are supposed to detect it and then block it and make sure that okay, these certain things don't happen, right? Another aspect is red teamers. Red teamers focus on the offensive side, so they are professionals that simulate attacks legally. The difference between red teaming or ethical hackers and the normal hackers are just legal ground. Ethical hackers and hackers, there's the black hackers, right? They use the same tools. It's just the ethical hackers, they follow a set of rules and guidelines, and they are authorized to do that. So roles in red teaming, you can see roles like that's where you hear people say, "Oh, I'm a pen tester, I'm an ethical hacker." Their job is basically to find weaknesses in your system before attackers do. So other important areas in cybersecurity, you have cloud security, you have digital forensic, threat intelligence, GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. So, but the key thing, right, for you to understand here is cybersecurity is broad, is very broad, which is a good thing, and it can also confuse you and also overwhelm you, right? So you have to know that there are many opportunities, and then different people can find their different parts depending on their interest. So, which is a good thing because well, how many people are 23 people on this call, right? And there are different areas in cybersecurity that can actually fit each of us based on your personalities, based on the kind of person you are. You could say, oh, I don't like to do all this thing, everybody's typing, hacking, monitoring screen. I just want to go to work, talk to the CEO, implement policies, and come back home. You can go to GRC if you don't, if that is like the kind of life you want to live or the kind of job that you want to do. So let me go to the essential skills, right? Let me go to the essential skills that we need. So are we following? Are we following so far? If you're following, you can type any of the cybersecurity niches that I mentioned, either blue team or red team here, or GRC, or cloud security. Anyone you can remember, you can type in the chat so I can see that you guys are following. All right. Thank you. So the essential skills that you need, right? The essential skills you need for to survive in I'll say to survive, because you need to survive. You need to come like this survival mindset to thrive and to also survive in cybersecurity. So I'll just like list them and explain them. So basically, when people start cybersecurity, they focus on the tools. They focus on, oh, I just learned how to use Wireshark. Bam. I just learned how to use Splunk. Bam. I just learned how to use Nmap. I learned how to use CSS to hack NASA or something. But they are not like really focusing on the important things, right? The important skills that you need to know when you're starting out in cybersecurity are your foundations. Like every single, excuse me, every single professional you see in the field, their foundations are strong. An expert is someone who has mastered these fundamentals very well, because everything you're seeing is just them building on their, everything you see is just them building. Sorry, anything you see them do, right? It's just them building on the skills that their foundational skills that they already have, right? So now, the first and important skill that you must have under your belt is networking fundamentals. There is nothing that you're going to do, or there is no place you're going to. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. No, I didn't prepare slides. I'm not sharing my screen. Um so let me proceed, right? Networking fundamentals. There's no place, right, you're going to go to where you will not encounter networking. You need to understand what networks are, what networking is. You need to understand how devices communicate on the network, how my laptop is able to, how we're able to have this meeting in the first place, how you can hear my voice. There can be the networking protocols that are involved, how two laptops can talk to each other. You can, let's say you have two iPhones, right? You bring iPhone together and then you airdrop. How does it work? Networking fundamentals. Or you bring your iPhones together and then each of them touch. You can transfer your files from one phone to the other, or do Bluetooth or file sharing. That is networking, right? So you need to understand these basic things. So there are a lot of core networking concepts you should learn. IP addresses, your ports, your protocols, your TCP, UDP, DNS, HTTP, things around that. And then if you want to like go into the tools that you will need, right, you can look into Wireshark. Let me write this down here. So Wireshark. How many of us know what Wireshark is? Does anybody know what Wireshark is used for? Try. Are you guys still with me? Okay. I'm seeing Grace. Grace says she knows what Wireshark is used for. So Wireshark is basically used for packet sniffing, network sniffing, network capture, packet capture, things like that. So if you want to like find out what is happening on your network, right, you can use Wireshark to do that. Other important skills include operating systems. You need to understand what's operating system. And we basically have two operating systems. We have like Windows and we have Linux, right? So you have to focus on things like the file system, user permission, logs, and the processes that are happening. You have to also understand basic security concepts like your authentication, encryption, malware, phishing, and just everyday. These are like everyday realities in cybersecurity, so you encounter them frequently. So a good example, right, is like let's talk about authentication. For example, let's talk about authentication. You have your phone, right? Authentication is just basically making sure that the person making sure that whoever needs to access something is the person that is accessing that thing at that point in time. So you put a password on your phone, and then you put your password and your fingerprints, right? And then you give your phone to your sister. Your sister can open your phone if she doesn't know your password. So she will try, and she doesn't even have your fingerprint, right? She will try. It won't work, you know. But you just pick up your phone, put in your fingerprint, or type in your password, right? You will just get authenticated into your phone, and then you get access to whatever thing that is on your phone. That's like basic authentication there. So we do all these things, right? Cybersecurity is like embedded in our everyday life. It's just that we have to like be when you start reading, hmm, when you start reading, and you start like getting familiar with these concepts, right? You begin to see cybersecurity embedded in every single thing you do, every single time. If you talk about like encryption, talk about firewalls or malware, that's like things like affecting your system. It may be some of us might have encountered malware. You go to a website, you want to download video, and then you want to download maybe a Korean series. Now on that website, you click download before the thing will take you to the main download page, like 500 best Nigeria websites that are already open. That's hardware. Or it's just like take you to one download site and something just automatically start downloading on your phone. And then you might not know the next thing your phone is hanging, the next thing your phone is hot. Somebody's calling you to send 1 million naira, all those kind of things. So these cybersecurity concepts happen in our everyday life. So when you read and try to understand concepts, I will implore you that you should try to like bring it down to your everyday reality, everything that you do per day, so that you can easily understand the concepts and then it easily stick with you, right? So let me see. Okay, so let me round up with this part. Okay, I think I'm going with this part. So let's go to the non-technical skills. So the non-technical skills, right? I just spoke about the technical skills, right? The technical skills include basic security concepts, your operating systems, your network fundamentals, and things around that. So I mean, if you've been following with me, please you can type the technical skills that you are very good with. So the non-technical skills that exist in cybersecurity, right? You have critical thinking. Critical thinking in cybersecurity is very, very much needed. Very much needed, right? Um, um, how does this happen? Why did it happen? Is this activity normal? Is it suspicious? What happened here? Just like reading. You get bored, you get tired, and you just be like, la cram la pot, that kind of thing. And sadly, our university don't actually teach us how to think critically. They'll just teach us how to think in one way. You just read, go to exam, and pour it and come outside. But in cybersecurity, you have to think critically because the situations they are facing, you're going to face in real life. They are not going to be asking you what is encryption. A hacker will not hack into your system and tell you, hey, before I allow you to access your files, what is encryption? What is malware? That's not that's not possible, right? So you have to have critical thinking. It helps you to think like a detective. It broadens your security concept depth. And that concept is another skill, right? Communication skills is very, 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 very important in cybersecurity because we don't just detect threats, you have to explain them. Like I'm explaining things to you, right? You understand what I'm saying. So if I don't have good communication skills, you won't be able to understand what I'm saying. I won't be able to explain what I'm saying to you. So because you may need to explain things. In fact, most of the people you're going to be dealing with in your everyday life in cybersecurity are going to be non-technical guys in terms of market women, security guard, your CEOs, managers, clients, or team members who are not technical, HR, people like that. They don't understand when you start saying encryption. Hey, I decrypt this key with this thing. I took it to cyber chef. I use Splunk. That one don't concern them. Explain anything you're trying to explain to people, right? Get the core concepts of what you're trying to explain and then bring it down to their level. If you're trying to explain, let's say authentication to a market woman, how would you try to explain it? You look for something that the woman does every day that it will relate to her. For example, maybe if she, of course most of these market women they used to do POS or do all these things, right? So you just tell them, mama, for example, now if I want to explain authentication, if you have ATM card or you used to go to bank before your bank would allow you to withdraw money from your account. They will ask you for your PIN. That your PIN is a way of them ensuring that okay, you are the one that is the owner of this bank account. They will now say, okay, yes, my picking is true, it's true, it's true. Thank you for explaining it for me like that. So do you understand? Your course explaining your concept, right? Very clear and very easy for people is a good communication skill you should have. And then the last one is discipline and consistency. Cybersecurity is not something that you master overnight. That's all the truth. It to take it's going to take you months, weeks to master a particular security or master cybersecurity, right? It's going to take you years. It requires like daily learning practices. You also have to be patient with yourself because this thing can get frustrating at some point. That's the truth. You will get frustrated. I'm not saying you can, you will get frustrated. By the time you are trying to solve labs or trying to do assignments or you're not understanding something and you have a deadline to meet or something, you try to understand something, you've been on it since morning till night, nothing is happening. You have to be patient with yourself. Just sleep, continue and continue to do something else, right? And also your consistency matters more than intensity. Yeah, so sorry about that. So your consistency matters more than your intensity. Consistency is just basically putting building blocks every day, reading building blocks every day. So today you wait for 1 hour, tomorrow you feel motivated like Superman, you are going for 3 hours. Then next tomorrow you don't have strength, but you just want to just read. So you can do maybe in 1 hour the next day. But just try to make sure that even if you're not reading, you might be watching a movie. If you're watching a YouTube video, right? Or talking to your guys about security concepts, you might not read that day, but at least one way or the other, cybersecurity was part of what you did that particular day. So that's how you can build consistency and discipline. You can also connect with people, talk to your friends, have group of friends. I have friends that I discuss my projects with, and I have meetings with regularly. They also they keep me motivated. So you need to get people around you, have a community like GDG, right? Talk to people, connect, and so that you can also, stay consistent and also connect with people and build discipline. Yes. So if you be following, right? If you be following me, can you list um maybe the top three skills you've heard me say so far, in terms of maybe technical or non-technical skills? So technical skills, non-technical skills. Okay, I'm seeing critical thinking, communication, critical thinking, consistency and discipline. Okay, okay. It's only four people that wow, like how many are 30 on this call? Let's get more people. Let's get more people. What about technical skills? I'm seeing non-technical skills. This is good. What about non-technical skills? What about technical skills? Any technical skills that you remember me saying? GRC. Okay. Let me get two more response before I proceed. Pen testing, networking. Okay, okay, you guys are following me. Thank you. So let's go. Let's go. Now, let me talk about a beginner-friendly roadmap. A beginner-friendly roadmap. Now, if you're wondering where to start, let me just quickly share a simple roadmap that works, right? Um, Number one, learn networking fundamentals. Start with your networking concept like IP addressing, ports, and protocols, right? Take time to understand how communications happen between systems. So do not skip this step. Many people they usually skip networking and then they struggle. If you skip networking, you will see shege because there's nothing that you do. You will not you There's no way you can escape networking in cybersecurity. No way. Even if you want to say, oh, I want to go to JRC, by the time you go there, when you want to like explain things for them, and you say, oh, this computer is supposed to talk to this computer, or maybe the pen testers, because these people they have pride though. What this everybody in cybersecurity has pride one way or the other because you feel that your this thing is good. So I mean, if you're like maybe talking with somebody in another department, right? And then the guy is trying to bobo you. You might not know what the guy is trying to say, but if you have like a basic understanding of this core concept, you might know when this guy is trying to maybe deceive you or is not explaining the things properly, right? So you need to understand networking properly. So I mean, the best place you can learn it is Cisco NetAcad, Networking Academy. All right, so just go to Cisco NetAcad, you see introduction to networking, then pick it up and then start learning. The next thing is learn operating systems. Fundamentals, yes, focus on understanding Windows and Linux. Understand the basic commands, practice as many Linux commands as possible. File management, understand how file management works, and then file permission. Also understand how systems behave under normal conditions, right? Because for you to understand, for you to detect what is bad, you have to know what is good. If I bring two apples to you and I show you one that is bad and one that is good, you detect, you obviously know the one that is bad because you already know what a good one looks like. So you have to also learn security basics, understand threats like malware and phishing, learn how firewalls and authentication system works, and then practice hands-on labs, right? Most of these learning platforms, they also offer hands-on labs. So you can practice with, so let me just drop a list of things here. So you can go to Cisco NetAcad, right? Um, yeah, go to Cisco NetAcad. If you're a beginner, like you just start to cybersecurity journey, I would recommend that you take the Cisco Junior Cyber Analyst pathway. Yeah, take the Cisco Junior Cyber Analyst pathway. It consists of about 6 courses there. Also take Google cybersecurity course. This is one of the best for me, Sha, because it's free and it's also beginner friendly and to cover the core concept that you need without you. Okay, apart from networking, you have to. Cisco is still like the best. If you want to learn networking and networking devices, you have to go to Cisco. That's like the best place. So if you want like more hands-on labs, right, go to try hack me. This is also good for beginners. There are many free rooms there, but you can also subscribe to premium and then you get access to many premium rooms. You can also go to Hack the Box. This is a little bit advanced and Let's Defend. Although Hack the Box just bought Let's Defend last year, but it's still active. And also certified cyber defenders to certified cyber defenders. Yes, I just give you a list of the places you can go to get learning resources. Um, Let me see. So let me round up with common mistakes that beginners should avoid. Hmm. Listen closely and listen well, because I've had discussions with different a lot of beginners, and I can tell you that these are the things that we normally face. Like I normally hear them say, so as not to like, so that you won't lengthen your journey, right? Just try to avoid as many common problems as possible, right? So I'm going to list them out. So the first thing, right, is skipping your fundamentals. Do not skip your fundamentals for no reason. No matter how long it takes you to learn a particular concept, stay with it. If it's taking you 1 month to learn what um networking is, watch videos, go to YouTube. If you have AI will break it down as if you're like a 2-year-old. Learn it as many times as possible. You get, so learn it as many times as possible. Do not skip the fundamentals. All these places that platform that I told you to learn, to go to learn. everything they teach you, also go back to learn it properly. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. If you don't understand what they are saying, have a discussion with your friends. In talking with your friend, right, somebody might chip in something that will help you understand what that particular thing is about, right? And then the second mistake is chasing certificates without skills. Don't chase certificates. You get tired, right? And it's not even um recruiters, right? The recruiters look for certificates, but they also look for people who are more hands-on. They look for people who are more hands-on. So you have to balance your skill with your the certificate you're taking. So if you're taking, if you say you want to take let's say computer security plus, by the time you take computer security plus and you've gotten your certificate, the next thing you should do is to get as many projects as possible under your belt. Just do as many projects as possible, spam projects, do many projects as possible, right? um I have a video, a meeting with my community where where we explain how to use AI to generate videos. So I'll send it to push on after this call, and then you should share it to your community that GDG will use, so you guys can see how you can use AI to generate videos, projects, right? You can also go to YouTube to check as many beginner-friendly projects. Now, the third mistake is not building projects. Build as many projects as possible. Projects help you to apply what you learn, right? It helps you. So, examples of, you have to like take different beginner-friendly projects, and different ones include network traffic, reviewing logs, or simulating some phishing scenarios, right? Your project, taking projects shows real efforts, because in taking projects, you will learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of things when you're doing projects. You also encounter a lot of problems that might want to play with your mental health, but that's how it is. That's what you signed up for in cybersecurity. So the fourth mistake is comparing yourself to others. Cybersecurity is a long journey, and everybody they move at a different pace. So you have to focus on your own projects and not on your own progress and not on another person's one. So you might see, okay, me and my guy, we just started this particular, we started reading together, we started cybersecurity together, and then my guy is already doing projects. They're already calling him to come and teach them how to do the project he's doing. And beginners start with Kali Linux. Of course, I mean that's where you should start. You can start with Kali Linux or Ubuntu. They are both Linux distros. So just to like learn Linux fundamentals, right? I'll get to question you. You get I'll soon round up so you can ask your questions, right? So, like I said, don't compare yourself to others. It's very easy. Imposter syndrome, you will fight with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome will press your neck. It will press your neck, but you have to make sure that you press the neck back. Don't be carried away with imposter syndrome. Um, you might be thinking, oh man, I've been reading. I don't understand what I'm saying. Now, this my friend, you just reading. How you are there? I've been getting everything. It's moving so fast in this course we're taking. Comparison is the thief of joy. The worst thing you can lose, right, on your journey in cybersecurity is your mental health and your self-worth. If you lose, excuse me, your mental health, your self-worth, your confidence, if you lose those three things in cybersecurity, you're as good as gone. So you have to try as much as possible to protect yourself by, if you read today, oh, I read this thing today, be happy, celebrate, post it on LinkedIn, post it on X. This is what I read today. I'm so happy I read how to do subnetting, or I learned how to do this. Praise yourself, feel good about it. Forget about that guy that is doing 100 things at the same time. At the end of the day, you'll be more grounded than somebody who's taking 1 million certifications and not doing projects, right? Or doing plenty projects and not reading. So there has to be like a balance, and then make sure that whatever you're doing, you're always doing what I call self-check, checking yourself consistently, right? To make sure that, oh, am I doing the right thing today? Okay, this particular phase I'm in, am I supposed to be here? Should I have moved past beyond this phase, right? So you have to also like check yourself to make sure that you're not staying in a particular position at a particular time. Um, So I think that's it. I've listed different entry level opportunities. Let me list them again. So there are many opportunities that exist in cybersecurity, right? You have SOC analyst, security monitoring, incident response, vulnerability management, pen testing, GRC analyst, and all those little and those aspects, those job roles. So as much as possible, document your projects, document if you're learning anything today, document as much as possible, post it on LinkedIn, make noise everywhere, let everybody know that this person just learned this thing today. Put it on your portfolio, build your portfolio by project. I'm telling you, if you do these things consistently for a year, you will look back and you will not even recognize yourself when you started. I'm telling you for a fact. So from personal experience, this is exactly the things I did to get me to where I am right now. And I'm still doing them. So opportunities, they don't come from just certificates alone. You have to build portfolios that demonstrate your abilities. Your opportunities that come to do for you, or the opportunities that you encounter in cybersecurity, they come from your skills, they come from your visibility, they come from your consistency. So you have to make sure that these three things, right, are there. I mean, you are working on them every day. So to round up my conversation with you guys, if there is one message I would want you guys to take away from this session, is this, right? Cybersecurity is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being curious. It's about practicing consistently. It's about staying patient while you grow. You don't need to know everything today. You just need to start, and then you have to keep going. So just make sure you start and then you are going every single day. If it's 1 hour, if it's 30 minutes, if it's to watch a YouTube video for that day, good, you're good to go. As long as you are learning and learning every day, right? Um, and the good thing is that you guys are in like an academic environment, so you'll be getting the academic aspect of cybersecurity, which would also which is also very vital, which is also very vital too. So I mean, so that's all. That's all for me. So thank you very much for your time. Um, I'm done with what I have to discuss with you guys. So I hope you learned and enjoyed what I shared with you so far. You can ask your questions now.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Jeremiah, for this impactful session. I mean, if I didn't live with anything at all, at least I left that with I left the fact that your technical skills is all like your non-technical skills is also important as the technical skills, and also I was able to learn about tools and platforms to start with, and then also avoid common mistakes that beginners should make. So is there anyone that have any questions for Jeremiah before we like move on to the next on our agenda? So you can just indicate by raising your hand so that you can take your questions prompt, because I think we're like running a little bit out of time. Is there anyone? Okay, so I think in the absence of no questions, we just like have to move on to the next like stuff on the agenda. So I was unable to introduce myself earlier because I had network issues. My name is Ezekiel Fagbole. I am the current GDG lead for OU Cybersecurity. And also, yes, I think sure should have introduced herself earlier. So she's the current co-lead for GDG OU Cybersecurity. And then we'll be calling our next speaker for tonight. So our next speaker is Olakojo Olaoluwa, also known as Secfortress. He's a security consultant at Cyber Ranges. So Olaoluwa is a security engineer and penetration tester, specializing in offensive security, vulnerability research, and adversarial simulation. He has delivered security consultancy across sectors, including banking, fintech, pensions, and professional services. working with both startups and established institutions. Working with both, sorry, working with both startups and established institutions. He used certifications both such as OSCP Plus, CPTS, CRTP, and also actively strengthens his expertise through real-world engagement and independent research, with 4 published CVEs to his name. So Olaoluwa is someone that is passionate about advancing offensive security. He continues to refine his skills through hands-on exploitation, post-exploitation framework, and contributions to the security community. So, Secretary, you have the floor now.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me clearly, like due to my background. Like I don't know if you can hear me like, very, very, very clear. Okay, that's true. So my name is Olakojo Olaoluwa, and first of all, I want to actually thank GDG OAU for this wonderful opportunity, to be able to like speak to you all on something I'm really, really passionate about, right? I just want to thank you all for the opportunities, and for everyone who has made it this far. I want to say a big thank you. So yeah, my name is Olakojo Olaoluwa, and I think Ezekiel has done a good and well fitted introduction about me. So I think I'll just go into what I'm going to talk about today. So we are looking at breaking into cybersecurity skills, paths, and opportunity. And cybersecurity is a really, really big deal. Like currently in the world, it's actually a really, really big deal everywhere across Africa, Europe. Mention it's actually a big deal, right? So everybody's trying to get into cybersecurity, and I think this is like the best fitted time to get into cybersecurity as a beginner, right? So yeah, let me just share my slide for you so I can talk about what we're actually going to today. So just give me a minute, right? Let me see. I don't know if I can share. Okay, let me just share my entire screen. Yeah, I don't know if you can actually see my entire screen, right? I'm just gonna hide this. I don't know if you can see my entire screen, like my entire screen though. Yeah, sure. That's true. How do I hide this? Right. So I'll just put this here, and I'm just gonna start the slide from the beginning. Yeah. I don't know how to hide this. Let me see. This video assistant. Okay, I think I can minimize this like this. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So in case you actually have a problem with my mic or network or whatever, just unmute yourself, and because I can't see like the reactions or whatever. So a complete guide for aspiring security professionals. Actually, I'm actually going to be talking about offensive security today because our guest speaker Jeremiah has talked about defensive security. So when it comes to cybersecurity, right? I mean, when it comes to offensive pen testing, I mean, this is what we're going to actually cover. Well, talking about the cybersecurity landscape and why it matters today, we have 3.5 million plus unfilled cyber jobs globally. Now, this is actually due to the fact that there's a lot of talent here, not like there's shortage on talent, but the people in the industry, I think things are being gatekept because I'm just trying to be neutral here. I'm trying to be like transparent here. I feel like things are being gatekept, and you need to be solid in order to be able to like get in, right? I think getting in is the most hardest part. Also, there's 4.9 million average cost of data breach. You see this every day. I think Stanbic IBTC just got hacked. I think maybe yesterday or day before yesterday. It was a huge one, and someone on the dark web posted, PI and stuff like that. So it's each case, and I hope they recover from that. We also have 2,200 cyber attacks occurring every day. Every day, like there's always cyber attacks. going on like every day, literally. So every industry is a target. Healthcare, finance, government, mention it, especially startups. Startups have huge attack chains. Like people are waiting for a lot of startups to launch. So if you know a startup out there that hasn't launched yet, but they are not taking security seriously and they feel like, oh yeah, we are not on production yet. I mean, we are not on live yet, and they're like, we are still on production. I mean, that's the best place to integrate security. Also, cyber threats evolve daily, ransomware, phishing, supply chain attacks, AI-driven, a lot. Security is no longer optional. Security is no longer optional in 2026. If you go on Twitter and you actually tune your algorithm to seeing cybersecurity content, you understand what this means because everybody's arguing AI, $3 million bridge, one startup that has been operating for like a year just got like they hacked them and it's a lot. So Nigeria and Africa is growing the economy with local together. And I feel like they shorted a skill in Nigeria, right? Yeah, I feel like there are more job openings because there are more people doing this, but they don't really have the will I say audacity, right, to do these things. And I will explain why when we go deeper into this thing. So essential skills to actually get started. Technical and non-technical foundations. The technical one starts with network fundamentals, and literally you can get this from YouTube. When it comes to offensive security, which is my favorite,
Okay, I think the speaker is like having a bit of network issues. So let's just like wait like 2 to 3 minutes to see if like we can get his network back up.
Good evening. So the speaker is actually is having a network issue. He's solving it by the way. So for the meantime, you can always ask the questions. I think I saw a question here. You can always ask questions based on the previous section we had. The previous speaker is still around, so you can always ask questions based on the previous session we had before this. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, can anybody hear me? My network went off a bit. So sorry.
Yes, we can.
All right, sharp, sharp. Thanks. So I am sorry about that. So yeah, I was talking about the technical and non-technical foundations, right? I said you have to actually understand network fundamentals, and you don't literally need to be, that good when it comes to networking. Meaning you don't need to be an expert in networking. Like you don't need to take CCNA or CCI or whatever to be like to be a penetration tester, right? Also, operating systems, you need to learn Linux. Like, you should actually, like, if you literally want to be serious, like, I feel like you should actually get a BMA power, like, Linux system, meaning you should try to, like, install Linux fully. So that way you can really be consistent, right? You need to learn things like directories in Linux. You need to learn the command line. You need to learn about, troubleshooting and other stuff like that. Also, basic scripting, which is Python and Bash. Now, the reason why I pick Python and Bash is because this has always been the native languages when it comes to scripting, right? But if you feel like you actually, are better off with, maybe Go or other language out of this, right? That probably is better because scripting is just like creating, short sequences like of a whole programming like system. So let's say, for instance, you probably need to combine 5 tools together, right? You can do that faster with scripting instead of just passing commands manually, right? From one command to the other. So it actually helps you like when you get to an actual job. Also understanding underlying web technologies. When it comes to hacking, you can't hack what you don't know. Like you can't actually pen test what you don't know. So you need to understand the technology behind a particular system. For instance, you can't do XSS payload right on a website that is static. It's actually not going to work because there's no server side behind that particular website, right? Same as you can't try to use payloads that will work for something like Node.js, which is actually JavaScript, right? A JavaScript library. You can't use Node.js payload for Node.js. You can't use it for PHP. It's not going to work because these are two different entire languages. You also need to be familiar, like you need to be familiar with security tools. Outside of this, there's Nmap, Wireshark, Bobsuit. There's a whole lot of tools out there. And I would say you should rely on tools like a lot or for a very long time. I would say, getting started is good to understand these things. It's good to understand the use of Metasploit. But so you don't turn out weak, sometimes it's better off to always do things manually. What I mean is, instead of using tools, you should actually go on GitHub, right, and see how people like use other approach to, solve problems. For instance, instead of using Nmap to do a port scan, right, you can actually try to use Netcat or try to use other tools out there that probably won't be detected because Nmap is really loud. If you use Nmap on a live environment, trust me, they're actually going to catch you. But if you use something like Netcat, which is actually being less monitored, right, you can actually bypass the restrictions. And these are just two different tools, right? But they still lead to the same place. Now, the non-technical mindset you need to have is curiosity and the hacker mindset. Now, curiosity in the sense that everything evolves in security. What work today might actually not work tomorrow. So you need to keep on searching for new techniques, especially if you're going to the red team sites, because there's a whole different, level between penetration testing and red teaming. Penetration testing just involves you, running a standard. It's like just, trying to clear a checklist for a company. Why red team is actually imitating a threat actor. Like you are trying to become the bad guy initially. That's red team. Now you need to build a hacker mindset. How do you build a hacker mindset? By taking on challenges, going out there, meeting people, reading articles, IRC platform, joining Discord communities and stuff like that. It's just about picking brains, like trying to learn from different perspectives. Also, problem solving under pressure. This is an underrated skill because there are crazy deadlines when it comes to like hacking in the real world. Your PM might actually, project manager might actually tell you to run a pen test for 1 week and then give him reports in 2 days. And trust me, you can have a huge, like you can have a lot of findings. Let's say you have 12 findings. Like you are not just actually throwing tools like automated tools. You actually sit down and do the manual stuff and try to find vulnerabilities, right? And you have 12 findings, right? Now, when writing reports, it's my actually, if you are not experienced, right, it might actually take you more than 2 days, right? But I think with the use of AI these days, right, you don't literally need to put customers' PI into AI, but AI can actually assist you to like, write reports faster by giving, like, it can assign a CVSS score for you, give you CWs, give you remediation techniques, that literally works because you need to validate this also. Also, clear written and verbal communication. You should be able to communicate, like you should be able to communicate to technical and technical stakeholders politely. The reason why I add politely is that it's going to take you really far, right? You can't be on the job and be throwing how will I put it? I mean, it's penetration testing is just like IT, like QA, because you're actually dealing with customers, you're dealing with IT teams that would actually tell you that this you're finding is rubbish. Like, imagine somebody looking at you and telling you that the account takeover you found is rubbish, right? And then you are like, this is proof. You just have to be able to prove it to them politely, and instead of putting a fight, and so the client can actually always reach out back to you. So you should be able to like give clarity and verbal communication. Also, ethical judgment and integrity. You don't put what you don't find in a report, right? These days, some people just bash, like they just bash in vulnerabilities into reports. Like they run a scanner on the website and then just gather the output from the scanner and bash it into the website, which is actually a very bad way to align with a client. To be honest, it's a very bad way to align with a client. Continuous learning also, the feed never stops. You literally need to be able to like keep learning. Like you need to be an active learner because every day there's always something new to learn. So you don't literally become how will I put it, an outcast. Like they say there's this quote that says, if you today you stop learning, start dying, right? So beginner friendly learning roadmap, beauty of applications, I've said it before, you need to take the CompTIA A plus, right? You can take the CompTIA A plus and Network plus, but I don't think you need to write the exams, right? I don't think you need to write the exams, right? You literally can just take the course on YouTube or something. Linux Basics, you can take the course. Python scripting, you can take a course on YouTube. Networking concepts, you can take a course on YouTube. All of these are on YouTube, to be honest. You just need to find the right person that works for you. Because literally, someone might refer you to someone on YouTube and probably you don't understand that person. But if you do your research well enough, you might find somebody you just understand. Also, you need to learn security concepts, which is actually being practical, right? What I mean by being practical is you need to go on platforms that offer hands-on practice and, try to practice these things. You can look out for things like TrackMe, Hack the Box. You can learn from OWASP Top 10 by building labs. You can use DVW. You can use OWASP G-Shop. There are a lot of them out there. Also, get hands-on, set up a security lab, practice CTF that's captured the flag, use Kali or Parrot OS. Like, you need to actually install an hacking operating system. Not really an hacking operating system, but like, I'll just say Linux, right? You need to have Linux because Linux is versatile and it's transparent. You can do almost everything you need on Linux. And I can't emphasize this enough. You need to document everything you are doing. I wish I could actually show you my notes, right? I literally document everything I do. Like, from the beginning of my career to the ending, like, to this day, I still document everything that I learn. Anything new that I learned that I actually, for instance, for a while now, I haven't touched Active Directory pen test because I do Active Directory pen test too. But for a while now, I've been doing web pen test, right? But guess what? If I get a client that calls me tomorrow and says, "Oh, I want you to run an AD pen test for me," I can actually do it because I have a note, like I have a checklist that I use for companies that, oh yeah, I'm actually going to do this if I'm on an AD pen test. If I see this, I'm going to do this. So I'll tell you to always keep notes, right? Because it would always save you in the worst possible scenario that you can ever find yourself in. Also, build in public. Specialize and certified. You need to specialize. You can't be everywhere. You can't do SOC today and do GRC tomorrow and do pen test. Nah, it's not going to work. You need to choose a part and specialize, right? And you need to pursue certificates on that part. Like you need to actually choose certificate on that part and specialize. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Sorry, sorry, I don't know if you can hear me clearly. I can't see the thumbs up, so I don't know, like you can just unmute and say something like.
Yes, sir, we can
I
hear
can
you.
just like. Okay, cool. Yeah,
When
thanks. Build in public. You should actually build in public. What I mean, build in public is take on GitHub project. Like there are a lot of GitHub labs out there, like security labs that you can do. You can also go into CV hunting. I don't know how it is now, but back then, 2024, 2025, you can pick on OSS projects, like open source projects or force projects, and just try to, just try to find bugs on them, try to do something like SAST, DST, but you need some certain, like you need a certain, level of knowledge. And I feel like this is where you get it, right? Hands-on experience. Reading other people's blog, taking CTF, going for live CTF. There are a lot of CTFs out there. I think there's one hosted by Pico, there's one hosted by what's the name of this guy? There are a lot of CTFs. I can't really remember because it's been long since I actually went for a physical event when it comes to CTF. So build in public, do GitHub projects, write blogs, post on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn. I'm saying this again, post on LinkedIn. It's very, very important. And don't wait for people to reach out to you. Reach out to people. Now, when I say reach out to people, don't go about DMing people for jobs. Nah, they are not going to give you jobs that way. Like, you need to build relationships in people DM. You don't just be like, oh, I'm a cybersecurity professional. I have 2 years experience. I worked on this. This is my resume. Nah, that person is probably going to ignore you. Like, they are going to actually ghost you. But imagine you start building relationships. I'll be like, oh, I don't know if you mind. Like, if you're free on weekends, you can actually, up on a call to discuss about, your journey in cybersecurity, how you got here and stuff like that. People want to, that's the point. People want to talk about, like they want to talk about their experiences, right? A lot of people are shy to hold the mic, right? But if you actually go on one-on-one call with them, you learn a lot, right? You learn a lot, like you're going to build connections faster that way. And you'll be shocked how many people want to hear you that way, right? How many people want to share that story with you that way. Contribute to open source. This is the best way to actually, even when it comes to development, contributing to open source is the best way to put yourself out there. Learn from others. Common mistakes to avoid. Learn from others, but not the hard way. Skipping the fundamentals, jumping into hacking tools without understanding network or OS concepts first. I think this thing actually fucked me up, right? When sorry about using the effort, but it's actually like, how will I put it? It dragged me back a lot in my career. And it's about jumping into tools without understanding the underlying system, right? You probably need to understand how the system works. You can't just spam tools or spam exploits or payloads to a particular technology you don't understand. So you need to understand the concept of that technology. And how do you understand the concept? You need to understand how operating system works, you need to understand Linux commands, you need to understand networking, you need to understand scripting. Stuff like this is going to give you a lot of experiences. Tutorial paralysis or tutorial hell. Stop watching endless courses and just focus on one. For instance, what I do is every year I try to take a new certification. I tell myself this year I'm actually doing CRTP and I follow their course parts. Like I just follow the parts in the course and that's it. You don't need to learn everything to become a professional. Let me put it that way. You just need to understand what to do and when to do it. That's all. For instance, your manager tells you, hey, we have this pen test coming up. It's a web pen test, and these guys are using, let's take for example, let me look for I think Node. Yeah, you can see SSTI and Node, and you're like, these guys are using Node.js. I feel like when it comes to Node.js, you actually do things like, you actually understand the underlying system, like broken authentication and stuff like that. Then when it comes to PHP, where you can try to find remote code execution, like you mostly see remote code execution of PHP apps, right? If you are actually really, really skilled, and the PHP website is not that secured. Like you will always see remote code execution, but it's hard to pop RCs on Node.js app. You would actually see more of logic flows on Node.js or Bootstrap apps, right? Also, neglecting soft skills. This one is very important because it's going to land you your very first job. I mean, you need to be technical enough, or you need to post, you need to write, you need to do all of that. But the way you treat people actually matters. You probably don't have to be a racist, right? Because trust me, if you want to work with most people internationally, you need to understand how these people out there, like how they function. You need to understand their accent and stuff like that. Also, note documentation habits is actually very bad. Not keeping note or write up means losing hard won knowledge. Let me just show you something real quick, right? I think I don't even know how to is this here, but this is like my cloud note, right? I started learning cloud, I think 2020 and 2020, yeah, I think 2025 January, right? And I take notes for literally like everything. This is how I just take notes, literally. Like I actually take notes for everything I do. This Spawn Labs, I take notes for everything because literally I might actually stop doing this because a huge project comes in at work and I probably can't, learn. Like I don't have time to learn. I just need to pick up on that project. And some projects might actually take me like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I just try to like document, and then I can actually go back to this note and just continue from where I stopped on the course. Instead of just learning from beginning again, I can just scroll through the note I have taken before. Also, imposter syndrome. I still have imposter syndrome to this day. But how I conquer it is just to do my thing. You don't need to compare yourself to people out there. That's what kills a lot of people. Just do your thing. Ignoring the legal/ethical line. Some people, when they learn some certain skill, they start going out of the line, right? You start popping shares on people's websites, start doing SEOs, start doing things that literally makes you a bad person, that goes against the standard, right? So these are things I think you should consider as a beginner. These are different career paths and specialization. SOC analyst, they monitor, detect, and respond to threats. Penetration tester, which is the role I do daily. Cloud security, I also do this daily. I do Azure and GCP, right? And if you actually, I mean, you can actually start from the penetration tester side, but if you know that you are like a really, really nepoobie like that, I mean, and you want to invest in SAT, like cloud security is actually a good place to go into in 2026, right? Because there are certifications, like learning are literally expensive, right? Well, another way to bypass this is to just follow the founders and wait for but you need to like actually you need to show effort that you have started something. That's the problem. You need to show effort that, oh, I've done this certain stuff when it comes to cloud security and I just need more opportunity. So you can just follow the founders. You can follow the founder of Pond Labs. You can follow the founder of Ultra Security on LinkedIn and just wait for giveaways, right? AppSec engineer, this one too is in demand. You always see this in startups a lot. Like you always see DevSecOps in demand, especially DevOps. You see those guys in demand, like in startups and fintech. Then digital forensics, these guys just investigate like posts, like their post responders, like they just literally try to investigate incidents that have occurred, right? GRC, they make sure that compliance and rules are actually regulated. Like you can't just fire up a pen test without proper compliance. Like you need to have some statistics like all this ISO 27, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Certifications. You can start with Computer Security Plus, right? But I would not say you should do that in Nigeria. Literally, if you're still in Nigeria, just take the course. It's not necessary. Then invest in any other cert here. PMPT, EJPT, OSCP, CRTP. You can invest in any of them. You can also wait for giveaways online, follow social media pages, go to Discord, be active on Discord, be active on LinkedIn. Where to find opportunity, jobs board, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Account. Sorry, I'm rushing because of time, literally. Also, bug bounty. I've actually participated in bug bounty and I've earned like I've earned significant like amounts on Yes We Hack because I only hunt on Yes We Hack. And it's actually a good experience because I get to understand, I get to see things differently. Like I see a whole lot of it has helped me when it comes to work also. I think bug bounty is the reason why I'm still at my workplace today because I do a lot of web at my workplace. Like I'm actually very, very active. Like when it comes to web, they're actually like, okay, yeah, Olaoluwa is a go-to guy, right? So I think that's what's actually keeping me at my work. Internships, apply early, build a portfolio of labs and write-ups. This is actually important. Don't just keep your labs in your notebook. Share them. See the most little information is going to help a professional. Somebody DM'd me one day. I was like, a blog I released in 2023 just helped. And I was like, how? And they were like, they are trying to, I think it was related to virtual machine. I think maybe network or something. I released that. I even dropped it as a tweet, right? I think I wrote it as a tweet. And the bro was like, this tweet you wrote in 2023 has helped me in 2025. I was like, bro, that's awesome. So just drop these things. Like also networking, besides events, OWASP chatters, Twitter X communities, ATB meetup. I have a friend that does ATB meetup, I think monthly. Her name is Olufela. You can check her out. I don't know if you guys know her, but her name is Olufela. I think, I don't know her nickname, but her name is Olufela. You can just Google name. I think it's quite popular. Local markets, banks, telcos, fintechs. I think fintechs in Nigeria are literally actively looking for people. If you start posting on LinkedIn and you start reaching out to people, they will probably reach out to you. Like, they'll probably reach out to you, right? That's just it. I don't know. There's just something about LinkedIn about posting stuff, right? You see the job part about LinkedIn, forget about it. I don't think the job part is the most, let me not say useless, right? But it does not matter. But you see that post and that DM, that's the most important place when it comes to LinkedIn. Now my real life experiences. Share first story from my okay, I got started. These are just quick FAQ. I think I got started in cybersecurity because they hacked my grandma's. Like that's just it. My grandma Facebook was hacked. I was like, how did this guy do this? And then I think I was seeing Computer Village then, and I needed to, like, I met someone that introduced me to web, started teaching me a few things, and then the guy disappeared. His name is Godwin, disappeared. And then I started, investing in TrackMe. I got to meet a few people on Facebook, and from there I got my first opportunity in ABJ, and from there, I guess that's how I continued to this point. The first job, what I wish I knew was that I wish I had met somebody earlier, which is Kunal. That guy is an Indian guy, and I met him while writing my CRTP. And I will tell you again, skills beat everything. Yes, you see, soft skills are okay, but you see that technical skills, like, see, let me just say it. The best way to learn in cybersecurity is to practice. See, forget about any other thing and just practice. Like, just practice. Because that is literally the best way you can move faster than anybody. I used to think I was perfect in Active Directory until I met Kunal, and it changed everything. I knew that I was actually very bad at this thing, right? Like, it made me realize that I only know the theory side of Active Directory and not the practical enough. And CRTP onboarded me. I wrote the CRTP and I managed to pass, but it was hell. Also, a memory incident or challenge. I think whatever challenge I've been was facing, like, starting the biggest opportunity of my life. Two biggest opportunity of my life was traveling, right? I moved from ABJ to Lagos, and I got a job in Lagos that wanted me to travel to ABJ. And then I was literally, like, I was hacking banks, fintechs, pension, and I was scared. I will not lie for you, I was really scared because I used to DM my mentor like, broski, how far? how do I go about this thing? I don't know. This server is no more responding. I'm really like, calm down, calm down. So like, this is just like I think like accepting opportunities is the most biggest challenge for me. Also, I will tell you, interview, 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 interview. If you see the hardest part is landing an interview. If you land an interview, trust me, like an interview with, I don't know how it is now, right? Because I see a lot of AI interviews now. But back then, if you land an interview with a real person, take it from me, and you do well, like your guts tell you that you did well in this interview, take it from me, it's coming back in the future. I did an interview in 2023, a technical interview. In fact, I passed the like theory and I passed the technical, and they never reached out to me in 2023. And they reached out to me in 2025. Like, I did an interview in 2023 and I got the job in 2025. You see, and that's actually where I currently work, right? So I would say, like, just try to always land that interview. Like, just try to always land that interview. And I will tell you to be advice for someone starting today. I'll tell you to be delusional, literally be delusional. I managed to go through the 3 stages of interview with Meta, but I couldn't move because it was on December and the deadline, like the role needed to be like fixed. Like they needed to file that role immediately. And yeah, I guess flight and everything was just like a little bit, it's actually going to be like 6 months or something. So I would just say be delusional, right? And be audacious. Like, go out there and just try. Just tell yourself that I can actually do this, right? So your journey start now, and the best time to actually start was yesterday, but the second best time to start is today. Just go out there and do your thing, literally. So yeah, I guess that's it. Just be delusional and do your thing. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, you can actually go ahead and ask me. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Olaoluwa, for the wonderful section. I was able to pick a lot of things from that, especially the LinkedIn aspect of it. A lot of people actually think LinkedIn is about the job opportunities and all. We do ignore the posting and everything. So I was able to pick a lot of things from that. So if you have any question, you can always drop it in the comment section, and then it's going to attend to it. Now, I think I'll ask a question on. I have a question on everybody's behalf as well. So, what points can you get to where you can say that okay, I can specialize now? So, at what points do you think you can specialize again? Please, did you get the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to what points you can specialize, right? What I would say is, I think you would actually know, like when you have taken the basics, you can excel in literally any field if you know the basics of networking. Any field in cybersecurity, if you know the basics of networking, except you are doing low level. That's low level is when it comes to red team, right? And I feel like, yeah, if you know the basics of networking, scripting. When it comes to red team, I would say when it comes to scripting, that's a different ball game. You don't literally need to start from Python or Bash. You can just take something like Go or C Sharp, right? Because that's what majority of those guys use there. So, like, you just need to learn the basics of things, networking, scripting, Linux. You're going to use Linux a lot. Even as a SOC analyst, right? You probably would use Linux, right? So you learn scripting, networking, and operating systems. I think you are good to go that way. Just start with the fundamentals or whatever part you want to take. Is it the SOC, like SOC analyst using Wazoo, using CM, like what's the name of this guys? Suricata, and a lot of other tools like that. Or digital forensics where they use tools like IEM, IEM Pro, IDM Pro. Like, just once you have just taken the basics of networking, Linux, and scripting, I feel like you are like 50% like ready for any part, literally.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a question in this comment section, please.
Okay, I believe you was to take track me. What's your is necessary to lean back in Dave in order to examine. Okay, so um it depends on what part of pen testing, right? If you're going to web dev, right, I can tell you that backend they will help you a lot because you are probably going to be inspecting JavaScript files, right? Like JS files. And this is going to literally help you a lot. Like you will be able to spot vulnerabilities faster. It's not necessary, to be honest. I can read JavaScript code, but I can't code in JavaScript. Unfortunately, I'm telling you the truth. I can actually read JavaScript. If you give me JavaScript now, I'll tell you, like, this is how JavaScript, like, I can tell you what this code does, but I cannot write JavaScript. So I feel like you literally need to like learn to understand how to read code, and understand how to read code boils down to writing it right. I've written JavaScript before, but I don't do web dev again. I don't touch web dev again. So I don't think I can actually write JavaScript, but I can read. So yeah, it's actually going to allow you to spot vulnerabilities faster.
So, thanks so much, Olaoluwa, for like this good session. Like, I really learned a lot. I a lot.
All right, man. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, so does anyone have a question again? Okay. Okay, in the absence of no question, I want to give a very big thank you to the speakers for today, Mr. Olaoluwa and Mr. Jeremiah. Mr. Jeremiah is no longer here. So, Mr. Olaoluwa, I want to give a very big thank you for taking out some time for us to educate us on what we need to know about transitioning into cybersecurity and everything we need to put in place to transition. I actually learned a lot today. I learned a lot. Yeah. So to proceed, before we move to the end, I'm going to introduce a 20 days challenge. I'll be introducing the 20 days challenge we're going to be holding after this session. So we are going to provide a learning pathway for everyone, and we are going to learn and build publicly. So we've heard from the blue team and the red team. We've had a lot of things. Now it is time for us to implement. So in to implement that, so that's why we brought about the 20 days challenge to implement what we've learned today. So after the 20 days challenge, at the end of the challenge, we build a project together to have a real life experience of what cybersecurity is actually about. So we are going to be building publicly and also building a project together. I'll provide more information about that on the group. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Yeah, I'll provide more
Yes, I can
information
hear
about
you.
that. Okay, I'll provide more information about that on the group. So I think that should be all. So before we end, I'd like to appreciate our speakers. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. Honestly, I've learned a lot, and I'm sure everyone has gotten value from everything you've said. We've heard from the I'm happy we were able to hear from the red team and from the blue team. So we've heard about the different skills and the different opportunities that are in cybersecurity. At least one of the things I know everyone should be able to take home is cybersecurity is not only about ethical hacking. It's only, when you tell someone that is not into the field, that you're into cybersecurity, and then the next thing they tell you is, oh, we are hacking. So I think that's one of the things we're able to bring out and take home today. It's not only about ethical hacking. You've had a lot of opportunities that you can go into in cybersecurity. We have the SOC, we have the GRC, and a lot of them. So thank you very much for educating us on these aspects of cybersecurity. And I'm sure everybody they learned a lot from it. And also thank you for the GDG community for hosting this event. It was actually a very nice event. Also, I saw how can you join the group? Um, if you're on the general cybersecurity group, we drop the if you're on the general GDG group, you're going to drop the cybersecurity group link. Yeah. So that's how you can join the group. So thank you very much for joining the section today. It was actually an amazing section, and thank you to the speakers as well. Thank